The best piece of advice I have for someone trying to succeed in the film industry or any creative space is if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're doing it wrong.
One of the best to ever do it.
What is freedom? I think I stole this from Bob Dylan, but maybe I stole this from Woody Guthrie. Freedom for me is waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night, and in between doing exactly what I want to do. What's the secret to happiness? The secret to happiness is finding something you love and then doing that for the rest of your life.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success, and I want to say thank you for joining me. Now, here in a minute, we're going to get to reviewing one of your websites, and I do want to point out that while this has been pre-recorded, I'm hanging out in the chat, interacting with you guys live and answering your questions. Now, if you're interested in having your website reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your site. And in addition to getting a site review, I also offer a one-on-one session to each photographer who has had a site review done to help them answer any questions or assist in making any changes that they may want to make. Now, don't forget, we also live stream every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so I hope to see you there. Let's get into the site review. All right, hey everybody, and welcome to Site Review Tuesday. I'm Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success. I want to say thanks for jumping on here and hanging out with us. Today we're going to be reviewing, and I'm going to say your name wrong, Lori. I am so sorry, but today we're going to be doing a review of lsharaphotography.com. Let me move the browser down so you guys can see that address. Again, up here, it's lsharaphotography.com. I looked up on Google how to pronounce your last name, Lori, and hopefully I'm getting it right. If not, definitely please feel free to make fun of me about that. I do apologize. I did try my best though. You guys, the link to this site can also be found in the description below the video as well if you're watching this on YouTube. But we're going to go ahead and get started right here on the homepage. So just up at the top, while I have this pulled down, a couple of things I always like to point out is the default browser icon and the title up here. So this is kind of set to default. These are things that you can change to customize. You could have a different icon up here, something to kind of give your site a little bit more of a custom feel to it. And then the title of your site is right up here in the browser. And this is something where you could definitely add a lot more information. You could add your location, you can add the type of photography you do, and this is going to be good for your SEO. So if you want to update this, you can definitely go to hover over your name on the top right corner of your screen when you're logged into your account. Click on account, then in the bottom left, you're going to go to website, search engine optimization, and then this is actually what's called the homepage title right here. So you can definitely add more information into this to make it more search engine optimized, better discoverability, things like that. All right, let's bring this back up and we're just going to keep going here on the homepage. So what I really like about this is it's a really nice, simple setup, right? There's 4 site menu items. You have your studio name right here, and this is it. So it's a really nice, really clean, really simple homepage. One single image, which works really well. I think maybe a slideshow of a couple of images would be nice, but I do think that this one image is just really striking. It's really beautiful. So I think this was a good image selection. You do have a link to your Facebook down here, so nice job getting that set up right here. That's linking to your Facebook, but we're going to go up here and we're just going to start going through your site menu items. So what we're going to do is go up here, we're going to click on portfolio, and then it kind of looks like maybe this is set up by the default, the way it was set up whenever you created the account, and not much has been changed. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So first of all, what we're seeing here is we're seeing a group page. So this is in your account, you have a folder, or you have what we call a group. It looks like a folder, and inside of there you could have multiple galleries, and that's what we're looking at right now is a group page. Now, I'm not a huge fan of using the group links, especially for your portfolios, because it does require your visitors to have to do a lot more clicking around to navigate to the different portfolios that you have, and I'm going to demonstrate that to you here in a second. But just talking about this really quick, there's very minimal information in here. So I clicked on portfolio, and now I went to studio, and now I'm not really sure what I'm looking at, if these are just the images in your portfolio. When I hover over these, I do see that there's like some title bars that show up. And so this is really not how I would recommend having your portfolio set up. What I would recommend doing is having this portfolio item up here be a drop down where it links directly to your different portfolios. And the reason that I say that is because with it set up the way that it is now, if I click on all the rest right here and I go in and I browse this portfolio, right, and I'm looking through here, looking at your images, and if I want to go to a different one, I now have to go back to portfolio and then go here. Versus if this was a drop down, I would just simply navigate back up to portfolio, it would drop down, and I would click on the one I want, providing me a much more direct access to the information that I'm looking for as a visitor. But let's go back and let's talk really quick about this portfolio page. If this is the way that you want to leave this set up, it's definitely one way of doing it. I want to see you put more information in here, right? So when you click on portfolio and it says studio, I'm a little confused by that because I don't really see any studio photos in here at all. So I would probably consider renaming this group to, portfolio, and then in that title, talk a little bit about the type of photography that you do. So you could say this is my fine art landscape photography portfolio or something like that in that title. Go ahead and put a caption on your portfolio as well. Add some text in there, talk about who you are, where you're at, and why you do what you do. Just add a little bit of information in there to make this portfolio a little bit more discoverable. Make sure that you're keywording photos, keywording galleries, different things like that. And then make sure that you set this information to show. Now, if you're going to continue using this portfolio group, I would definitely recommend that you have these titles here set to show without a hover. So this way it kind of indicates that these are categories that we could click on and see more. Like right now, if I know nothing about Zenfolio, nothing about the website, I think that I'm seeing your portfolio and I don't really understand that what I'm looking at is different categories that I can go in and view. And so if you want to keep this kind of folder portfolio set up, again, I would recommend making sure that you come in here and you set these to show all the time instead of on hover. And then you can do a lot of customization to this as well. All right. Now, let's just go ahead and start looking at these different portfolios. So the first portfolio category that I hover over is all the rest. So if you're going to use a title like that, you might want to put other portfolios that have specific names ahead of that so that when I get to all the rest, I understand, okay, I've already seen flowers, I've already seen landscapes. This must be everything that kind of didn't fit into a category. But starting out with that for me is a little bit awkward. What do you guys think in chat? Let me know. Do you think this is fine? Do you think it's a little awkward? For me, it just kind of throws the whole thing off because I'm like, all the rest, well, I haven't seen anything yet, so I don't really understand what all the rest means. But we're going to go ahead and start in here. So we're going to click in here, and you got some absolutely beautiful images. All right. And so we're just going to kind of take a look at these really quick and just kind of scroll through these. All right, so a couple of things here. We have a lot of things show. We have select photos, we have buy, we have share, we have slideshow. I'll say one thing. I think you've done a really good job at keeping the theme, the appearance of everything really consistent so far. It looks really simplistic, really nice, clean, the white and black, all of that staying the same. I'm not seeing any weird theme changes. I would probably think about, some of these options here. Do you need these to show? I mean, definitely, I think the share button's fine. If you're going to have the share button showing, I would remove these social media icon options in the thumbnail. So I would go with one or the the other. I prefer the share button because I feel like these are kind of distracting from the image itself. I don't like a lot of hover stuff on the images when I'm browsing through things. Now, the next thing is this is titled portfolio, but when I get in here, this looks more like it's your artwork that you're offering for sale. So we might want to think about a way to rephrase this. Is this a portfolio where you're showing off the work that you can be hired to do, or is this galleries where you have your work that you're posting for sale? Maybe thinking of a better way to kind of word this in your site menu so that you can kind of indicate to people, hey, this is stuff that's for sale. This is not portfolio work where I'm showing you what I'm capable of in hopes that you're going to hire me as your photographer. So maybe some kind of way of clearly indicating that so that people know when they're coming here, they're looking at art that they can purchase. But let's just take a look here. Let's go ahead and click on an image and let's see where we go. So since we have a price list applied, we are going to the visit shop. But one of the things I'll notice here is that it says visit shop to buy products with this photo. So what that tells me is that your Kwik shop is either not set up, or the items that you have in your Kwik shop, this photo is currently not capable of producing because maybe you uploaded a low resolution file and you don't have order approval turned on. So there's something going on here as to why products are not showing up in your Kwik shop, which Kwik shop is definitely the buying experience that I recommend. And so I would definitely recommend that you dive in and you see why aren't things showing up here, because especially for this type of work, I am definitely going to recommend that you use Kwik shop. Visit shop is just going to add some extra steps that your visitors and your potential clients have to take to purchase this photo. Whereas when they use Kwik shop, they can just kind of browse back and forth through the images like this and start selecting products from their little product list over here. So I would definitely recommend that you dive into your price list and you find out why your Kwik shop is not showing. Now, if you absolutely want to use the visit shop and you don't like Kwik shop, you can turn Kwik shop off. Okay, so you can go into options, page elements, shopping setup, and then you can set your galleries to use the shop page only, and then this Kwik shop option right here doesn't show up and it's a little less confusing. I'm not recommending that you do that. I would recommend that you do the opposite and you figure out why things aren't showing up in Kwik shop. You fix that and then you turn off visit shop because it's a much more simplistic buying experience. I think it's going to be better for this setup here. All right. Now, the other thing I'm noticing is that when we click on an image, we're getting an image title and we're getting an image caption. And let's see. So it looks like that's all that we're getting. We're not getting any keywords. So again, I would definitely always recommend writing in your titles, your captions, your keywords on your images, but then making sure that not only can you see them on the photo page where we just were, but that they're also visible on the thumbnails page as well, because that is going to help your SEO. Let's scroll down and see if there's any keywords showing. So I don't see the keyword box down here. That means that if you are keywording your photos, they are not doing you any good because it's not showing, and so Google can't read it. They can't index this page and understand how to present it in search results because your keywords are not showing down here at the bottom. So make sure that you turn your keywords on. All right. Another thing too, one of the things that I always bring up during site reviews, one of the biggest underutilized features of Zenfolio is the gallery caption, right? So the gallery caption allows you to have some text up here at the top of the gallery. Again, it's a good place to let people know the type of photography you do, let people know where your location is, or if you're doing just like fine art and landscape photography, letting people know what they can expect to see in this gallery. Of course, they can go down there and look. Really, you're not writing for people, you're writing for search engines, but you have to keep in mind that people are going to be reading that. And so you need to write it so that it makes sense to them as well. And all of that stuff that I just mentioned is going to be very beneficial for you in search, getting you to show up better in search results. The more text information you can provide, the better. So that's definitely something that I would recommend here. Now we're going to navigate back to portfolio and we're going to go to another category. So again, another reason why I recommend that drop down is because I could just hover over this, click the next category, but with the current setup, I have to click on here, right? And then I have to go and click on the next category. And my feedback is probably going to be the same for most of your portfolios, because it looks like the setup is pretty consistent. So all the feedback that I just gave you on the first one, I would take it and apply it to this one. One of the things I didn't mention was the Facebook and the like button and the tweet button. If you're going to show these, call in a favor from some of your friends, have them go in there and do some likes so that when people show up here, they don't see 0 likes on this. Otherwise, I would actually go in here and turn these off if you're not going to have people do that. But again, no image titles, no gallery caption, no keywords. So this gallery has very minimal information that search engines can really index and read and try to understand what this page is about. All right, we're just going to take a look at the rest of your portfolios really quickly. Like I said, most of my feedback is probably going to be the same. Okay, so this is like a double group or a double folder. So just to show you this navigation, I'm going to portfolio. Here I'm viewing a group. I'm clicking on landscape, which is also a group. And then I have 2 different galleries to choose from, when these could all be in that drop down, making it 1-click navigation versus now I'm at 1, 2, 3 to actually get inside one of these portfolios and view these photos. So definitely something to think about. Having that drop down menu is going to make the navigation of your images so much faster. It's going to make it much more easy for people to get directly to what they're looking for, rather than having to kind of click around and go back into the portfolio like I'm doing now. All right, so let's just keep moving. You have some gorgeous images here though, some very beautiful photos. Let's go back and take a look at your beach scenes really quick. So just kind of looking around, one of the things I do want to look at here is I do want to see if this is changing at all. So again, visit the shop to buy products with this photo. No quick shop going here. So this is a little bit of a confusing setup, to say the least. Let's go down here and take a look at the bottom. So again, no categories and keywords. So pretty much I think my feedback on your portfolio galleries is going to probably stay consistent across all of these. Absolutely gorgeous photos. Again, right here, this is going to be another double group. So you could definitely have this set up in drop downs. And hey guys, if you didn't know it, your site menu items also matter to your SEO as well. So if you had several site menu items up here where you had like a drop down for nature and wildlife, and then under that nature and wildlife drop down you had birds, you had whatever this is, I couldn't read that, I'm sorry, and then you had wildlife, that stuff actually helps your SEO as well. I know it's a little bit more work on your part to set that up, but it's also much more beneficial. So while I'm not saying go crazy with your site menu items and have a whole bunch on there, what I am saying is utilize those drop downs and then add those categories into those drop downs so that that text information is actually there and readable for search engines as well, because it is going to be helpful and beneficial in that aspect. All right, let's take a look at your birds really quick. Looks like pretty much the same setup we've seen so far. That is one big thing that you have done really well, is kept things consistent. Let's just go to another image here. My internet's being a little bit slow, but you've kept things very consistent. I'm not seeing different colors. I'm not seeing different layouts. Everything is staying the same. So I'll give you some points for that. You've done a great job at that. Another thing too, really quick, that I didn't mention is that so far I have no idea where you're located. Now, if you're just trying to sell your photos, if you're not trying to be hired as a photographer, I don't know that that's necessarily a big deal, but location information still helps for search results if people are looking for specific locations of specific types of photographs. It is nice to have that information in there. Or if people want to support you locally, having that information on your site helps you be found locally. Also too, this looks like this is just the display name here, just the main text. You might want to think about getting a custom logo added up here just to kind of give your site a little bit more of a custom feel to it. But I think keeping it simple like this is also working pretty well. We're going to go really quick into the last portfolio here, which is the sunsets. And so again, pretty much the same thing, exactly the same setup, no keywords or anything like that. So my feedback is going to be pretty consistent for all of your portfolios. Let's jump over to your blog and take a look at your blog. All right, so let's see. The last blog update that I see here looks like it's from May 2019. 2019. So we are about to jump into 2020. When I get here, the last blog post that I see is from May 2019. I'm going to say, hey, are you still around? Are you still actively going out and shooting photos? I would try to blog at least once a month if it's possible. If you're going to have a blog on your site, you want to have at least a blog post up at least once a month. You know, a lot of people will say once a week. A lot of people will say 3 times a week for the maximum benefit. I would say at the bare minimum, you need to have a blog post once a month. Otherwise, you might want to consider focusing your efforts somewhere else. All right. So like again, last blog post was May 6, 2019. Before that, let's see, April. And then let's see. So it looks like you went pretty consistent in April. And again, another thing, guys, Zenfolio lets you schedule out your blog posts. So if you have a lot of content that all of a sudden you have, schedule those out on a month-to-month basis. Don't throw a bunch of content out there all at once and then have nothing to last you out for the rest of the year. If you've got a lot of content, schedule it out to post once a month, and that way your blog is consistently being updated. All right, moving really quickly to the About page. Let's go check that out. All right, so nature, wildlife, landscape photographer. We have kind of an image in here where I can't really see you that much. I can kind of see a little bit, but not much. Let's get some more information in here. Let's talk a little bit about why you love what you do. What's your favorite things to photograph? What places are you taking these wildlife and landscape photos? All of this text matters. This is stuff that will help your SEO, that will help you show up better in search results, that will help search engines understand what your site is about so they can rank it accordingly. And then lastly, really quick, we're going to check out your contact page here. And this, okay, so right now is the first time, your last site menu item, where I actually get an idea of where you're located. So at least that information is on your site. I would like to see it more apparent, well, not just on the last site menu item that I get to. Overall, you have a really good, consistent setup as far as things are staying the same. The colors and the layouts are staying the same. Again, I would definitely look at the navigation of your portfolios. Think about the information that you're missing as far as titles, keywords, gallery captions, different things like that. And then I really just want to see a lot more information on here. I like that you have things simple and you don't have to make it overcomplicated, just some simple text here and there to give us some keywords, some ideas of what your galleries are about, and your location will be helpful. But thank you so much for submitting your site. I hope this was helpful and hope you guys have a great Hey, thank you guys so much for watching that site review. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you get notified when we post videos and when we go live. Now, if you're interested in having your site reviewed, there's a link in the description below this video where you can submit your website for that. And in addition to getting a site review, you're also going to get a link where you can schedule a session with me. We're going to go over your website, go over the review. I'll answer any questions that you have and help you make any changes that you're interested in making. So the link to sign up for that is in the description below this video. Now, don't forget Zenfolio Live coming up this Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope to see you guys there. Until then, I hope you have a great week.